This is Gadget Stop 321. In today's video, I'm taking a look at a pen that was given to me as a gift from my sister a few years ago when I first got into the fountain pen hobby. This is a pen that she picked up in the Asheville, North Carolina area. She used to live there, and she found this pen at an art gallery for local artists. It was an art gallery / gift shop, and she picked this up for me. Now, at the time, the only fountain pen, modern fountain pen I had in my possession was a pen that I had bought for myself. It was a Kaweco Skyline Sport, and if you know anything about the Kaweco Sport series, they're not flashy pens. They're very practical and utilitarian. They're pocket pens, and when she gave me this pen, and my first impression was I picked it up, and it's a hefty pen. There's a lot of metal hardware in this wood pen, and you know, it's got a pretty grain to it. It's made out of Bocote wood, and it's got a pretty two-tone nib, and I just really liked this pen. I appreciated this gift. Now, this pen was made by an artist from the Asheville, North Carolina area, and I'm probably going to mispronounce his name, but I'm just going to pronounce it Bill Wanezek. And this was the tag that was on the pen, and that's his name, and Bocote is the wood that it's made out of. And my sister picked this up at, the name of the art gallery was Mountain Made in that, let's see, the Grove Arcade in Asheville, North Carolina. And this was one of my first fountain pens that I used. Now, like I said, it's a hefty pen. Now, this black accent back here is actually threads that the cap posts securely. Now, it does make it quite a bit back heavy. This is a really heavy cap. So if you're going to be writing with it for a substantial amount of time, you may want to leave it uncapped, and it's comfortable to use uncapped. The section is nice and long. It's fairly thin. If you're not fond of thin sections, this might be uncomfortable, but I have small hands, and this is comfortable for me. And it's got a small nib, but it's in proportion to the narrow section, so it looks good. It's got the same black plastic blocky threads down here that attach the cap on this end. It's a standard international cartridge converter pen. I've got a cartridge in it right now. And lots of threads. I've got it inked up at the moment with Colorverse Interstellar Space, which is a pretty moss-colored green that shades nicely. And I think that it looks really good with this wood-grained pen. Now, let's see. Let's take a look at how it writes. Let me get my glasses on. Now, when I first inked this up, I had some trouble writing. Let me see where it is. Where did I put? Ah, here it is. When I was getting it started, I was writing on, I better cap this up while I'm talking, it'll dry out. I was writing on some smooth Marmon paper, and it was skipping pretty badly. But it may have just been because I had first just inked it up and that paper was so smooth. I did a little writing sample in my ink journal And this is Arc paper from Staples, and it's a little more it's a lot more absorbent than this Marlmon paper, but it is still fountain pen friendly. It makes a nice ink journal, and it's just, you can see now the color on my camera is not going to be the best, but that's a really pretty moss colored green. Let's take a look at how it writes in my Leuchtturm. On my Leuchtturm on this page, I've got pretty much, it's all blue and dark blue and turquoise blue. Let's see, I need my glasses on. I like the threads being plastic on metal. I don't like metal on metal grinding together, and the threads are really smooth. Let's see, this is a Bill Wanezek Bocote wood fountain pen with a medium nib. Now it hard started up here a little bit, but I had been sitting there with the cap off for quite a while. Now compared to the medium Lamy, I'll show that in just a moment. Better focus. It writes a little more narrow than the Lamy medium. Oh, I can't talk and write at the same time. It writes a little on the dry side. It writes a lot on the dry side, I should say. And this Interstellar, I thought tended to be a pretty wet ink. Let me see. Well, I thought I might run it over some micro mesh, but it's not. This is just a dry writing pen. I might work on it and see if I can open up the tines a little bit. But I like the line that it puts down. I have traditionally kind of been a fan of fine writing, finer nibs, but this is a pretty pen. A little on the heavy side, not too big, even though I have small hands. It's just a pretty pen. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.